Hello, and welcome to my second day of Christmas. I'm going to show you how to create a pop-up book card with no cutting dice. It is a fancy fold and you haven't tried this one yet. I really hope you'll feel inspired and craft along with me. First, I'm going to create the card base. So I've got 12 by 6 inches white card. I'm going to fold it in half. You can score it at 6 inches, which is halfway through it. You can use your bond folder or scoring tool. The card base is ready. Now we have to decorate it. I decided to start with brown paper, which is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to use my liquid glue so everything will be adhered forever, which is really cool. And then decisions. How do you want to decorate your card? I had a look at my stash and I found one of the design papers that are already used. And they had some beautiful design papers with gingerbread. And that's what I'm going to use today. Because why not? And this card comes from the Lidl. So now I've got two squares measuring 5.5 by 5.5 of an inch. Again, I'm going to use my liquid glue. And this is really beautiful card at this point. But you can make it even better. And that is the whole point of creating a fancy fold. So now we have to decorate the sides. So I'm going to use white card 300 GSM and I'm going to have a panel 6 inches by 4.5 of an inch. I'm going to score it at 1, 2 inches, 3 inches, and 4 inches all the way down. When this is ready, I can put it to the side and use another panel measuring 6 by 4.5 inches, score it at 1, 2, 3, and 4 inches. When these cone lines are ready, now I'm going to fold and burnish those lines and assemble them together. So I'm going to have two cuboids that go flat in the envelope. How cool is that? If you do like pop-up cards, this fancy fold is for you. And I'm pretty sure you do have lots of beautiful design papers, perfect for Christmas season. So I do encourage you to use whatever is in your stash and create this pop-up book card, which is super quick, simple, and very effective. So I've got one cuboid ready. It's always a good idea to burnish it from the inside as well, especially when you use a liquid glue. Now I'm going to fold and burnish the skull lines on the second panel and repeat the process. If you really want, you can also decorate the sides here as well. So in that case, you will need the design paper measuring 5 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch. However, today I decided against it because I want my cuboids to match the card base, which I think is really cool. So when this is ready, as you can see, those cuboids actually fold in two different directions. And that will be the guide for you. And I want to make sure that they will fold to the inside of the card. So this is a big trick here for you. Remember. So as you can see, I only put the liquid glue on one on the sides and it folds flat. How cool is that? When this is ready, then I'm going to create two rectangles that will go on top. And again, I'm going to use 300 GSM white card. It is my favorite, and I actually only use leftovers to create this card. And I do encourage you, especially with fancy folds, don't start a new design paper. Use whatever you've got, even to create the elements for fancy folds and mechanisms. I want to make sure that everything is lined up. Now I can create two panels measuring 6 inches by 3.5 of an inch. Two brown squares measure 5 3/4 by 3.1/4 of an inch. I'm going to assemble them together and then I decided to use two different design papers from the card pad I showed you from the Lidl, because why not? Everything doesn't have to be exactly the same. So for this case, I got the green design paper and also the white one that you've seen a couple of minutes ago. So these panels measure 5.5 by 3/4. Now I'm going to assemble them here using my liquid glue put them on those two cuboids inside of my card. So then that will give me all the dimension I need. What do you think about this design paper from the Lidl? Do you like it? Please let me know in the comments down below. And how often do you create fancy fold cards for Christmas? If you do have your favorite style, please let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget that in 2 days, on the 5th day of December, I'm going to have a different fancy fold for you, which is also going to be a part of hashtag FFC Challenge 2023 collaboration with Paper Mona. So stay tuned for this one because it's going to be absolutely amazing. Now, you can decorate the panels here, and using the leftover design paper, I fancy cut some of the gingerbread elements. I couldn't resist, especially with those hearts. They look so yummy. And then on the right hand side, I'm going to cover some of the elements. And when I put those here, I can actually put them a little bit on the edge as well. So I'm going to have a little bit more dimension. And I absolutely love it. When this is finished, then I'm going to decorate the front of the card. So I'm going to start with brown paper, measuring 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 of an inch, and the design paper is 5.5 by 5.5 of an inch. And then I actually had a look at my stash, and I thought I would really like to add some shapes to this card. I just didn't want to leave it with some squares and rectangles. I thought, let's create a circle. At the moment, I don't really have any circle nesting cutting dice, so I decided to use my circle cutter from Made to Surprise. I absolutely love it, and I thought that was the great choice. So I've got the leftover here of the design paper. Now I'm going to create the smallest possible circle. I'm going to move my blade all the way down. Make sure you move the protective element, and we always have to screw it properly. Now I'm going to hold it and create a circle. I really wanted that gingerbread to be visible on that circle. When this is ready, then I'm going to use the brown leftover pad as well to create a slightly bigger circle. And in this case, I'm going to have a very nice border. If you're not happy with your circle, of course you can always use your scissors. And if you would like to see some very special fancy folds in my Christmas series, please let me know in the comments down below. Maybe there is one that you haven't done in a long time, so I can create it for you, maybe with some different measurements. So now I've got this circle ready, and I can assemble them using my one and only liquid glue, magic glue, because I do have time to maneuver the elements. And as I told you, I really wanted to use some shapes. And with the leftover design paper, first I cut a rectangle. Wasn't very happy with it. So I thought, what can I do to it to make it even more special? So then I cut it diagonally and I created a diamond shape. So of course you can do it. Play with the shapes, play with the layout, because this is such a good idea for any handmade card. So now when this is ready, again I'm going to use my liquid glue and then put those elements on my card. And this will go so easy in a flat envelope. Of course, if 300 GSM white cardstock is too heavy for you, I mean too thick, you can always use 180 GSM and that will be absolutely perfect. I really like this green design paper because I think it goes well with all that gingerbread, the light brown and also the darker brown as well. Here you can see my three Christmas sentiments. These are in Polish. However, I do have the same in English as well, free for you on Buy Me a Coffee website, and I leave the links in the description down below. So if you'd like to use them for any of your Christmas projects, just check the links in the description down below. Here I'm using that fishtail rectangle, and I think that will add even more special effect to the front of the card. How often do you create your own rectangles for sentiments? Please let me know in the comments down below. So now the cut is complete. Super quick, simple, and really effective, especially when you open it and it looks like a dimensional book with all those gingerbread elements and hot chocolate marks. There is plenty of space to write your message on the back, and it stands proudly on a flat surface. So please let me know, what do you think about this fancy fold, and if you'd like to try it out. I'm really curious. Thank you so much for watching and spending that time with me. Don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And don't forget that on the 5th of December, I'm going to have a different fancy fold for you. Have a wonderful day. Happy crafting. Bye for now.